For some reason when electricity went out. But we're still talking about money, so we're going back to actually talking about our relationship with money and how consistent we have to be today, and the things that we need to do in order to start shifting our mindsets in order to help ourselves develop a better relationship with money in our business and personal. And why is it personal? One of the biggest and important reasons is because of the legacy that we leave behind, right? Right, Omar? I mean, I have young kids, and I know we're talking about your kids and how you teach your kids to. They have ledgers, and they track their expenses, they track how much money they make, and they track everything that they do. And that's one of the biggest things that we can do, because I remember I was never taught anything about money. Now, one thing that I always wanted more. And I remember when I was 11 years old, and it's funny to me because I compare myself to my kids today, and I'm like, oh man, my kids would have died back then. I
No,
remember that.
no, I agree. I mean, I worked since I
Yeah,
was in fourth grade, and then I worked two jobs in college while I went to school, and so
correct.
I never stopped working since fourth grade because I liked having my own money.
Correct. So I was in Colombia. I used to live in Colombia. When I was 11 years old, I remember this, that I used to go to school. My dad used to have a job. My mom wasn't around because she was in the U.S. Working and providing for us over there in South America. And I will go in within my time off, because I sometimes I had school in the morning or in the afternoon. And I would go to the center of the city. There was no internet. There was no paying by phone or nothing. So I would go with money in my pocket, taking the bus, go paying the bills at 11 years old. We're talking about a kid that today, you see a lot of the kids, they use into their own thing, into social media, into their phones. And it teaches you a different relationship with money, and how you should become responsible when it comes down to your personal matters, but also business. And in
Right,
this case, it is our job, and we see that we know that times change, and we know that yes, we have to evolve with times. And I know that there's so many things that kids can do today, but it's our responsibility to shift that mindset, specifically if we want our kids to be successful, if we want them to carry a legacy that we're trying to leave behind. And that
right,
is essential. And one of the main things that we could do it is, I mean, and people say, people do what they see you do, not what you tell them, right?
right, right,
Kids could see that, and they absorb everything that you do. So it starts with you, how we start thinking, how consistency we are today, and how we shift our mindset in order to everything we do. And I think you were talking about one main point that I know that I wanted to point out is like, how do we measure it? So if we're talking about someone that's trying to go in business today, what is your best advice to measure a their relationship, or how they measure money in order for them to invest, but also to keep some money?
right. So let's start with the respect that you said. Uh, you got to respect money,
Hmm.
right?
Yes,
Because if you don't respect it, it's like anything else in your life; it won't stick around,
true.
right? And the next thing is you got to become a bigger container. So
True.
if you're a small container, God won't give you any more than you can handle. That's why you see people make a lot of money and lose it all because they didn't work.
And
They didn't work on themselves. So one of the things I always tell people is to work harder on yourself than you do on your money or your dreams. So you develop the habits of successful men and women. So you know, develop yourself so you become a bigger container so you can hold more money. Number one.
yeah,
Number two, respect money. And number three, you need to change your mindset towards money. A lot of people think money is evil. You know, you've heard it since you were a little kid. Money is the root of all evil. Well, yeah, if it's used in the wrong way. However, if used in the right way, like putting your kids through the best schools, helping your community, your church, temple, mosque, etc. Um, like I like stuff like that I do, like all these different. I won't say which ones I do, but I do a whole bunch that are cool for kids. I like the kids stuff, the veterans. I do the veterans stuff like that. So, I
that's
mean,
awesome.
find things that you believe in, like, and that you can help out. Like I do toys for tots, things like that, and all that kind of stuff. So,
Yeah.
um, but I'll tell you guys a couple of really great books that you could pick up. One is called Wealth by Benjamin Franklin. That guy was a genius. So
Yeah.
Benjamin Franklin was amazing. And
Yeah.
this book called Wealth, I've had it for 20, maybe 40 years. And it's this thick, and it's like a little book like that. The next one is The Richest Man in Babylon.
Mm.
Pick up the book The Richest Man in Babylon by, I think it's George Clayton or Clayson.
Yeah.
And that book was really good for me because it taught you about, what you should save, 10% of your income. He had all these great tools in there that are really great for you. I think it's important that you read little books like that that help you out. And then if you're going to go into business, of course, Rich Dad Poor Dad, pick up
Yeah.
that. That's a good book for that. And then it just keeps growing and growing and growing. The bottom line is you need to look at your internal blueprint of, again, how you were brought up,
Yeah.
what you were taught about money, how your parents were, your area where you live, and then your external is who you hang out with, your community, and all that, right? So you've got to look at both sides, internal, external, see where you can improve, and then start ledgering your money. What I like to do is I ledger money, and I show if I have a certain account, I ledger the money so I can see where I'm going by the end of the month, right? And you do that like once a year. If you do that once a year, remember, guys, past predicts future. So whatever you did in the past, you'll do in the future. It's like everybody does. Like for instance, most people, if they were in a bad relationship, they get another bad relationship, right? Right? Some people, when they drive, if they drive a minivan, they're gonna buy another minivan,
More
right?
than likely, yeah,
So
right.
some
But you know
people,
what? And you teach something very essential too. You say what you focus expands.
right?
So like a smart man learns from his mistakes. The genius learn from other people's mistakes. But at the same time, we should have experiences, but we should evaluate our experiences, right? That's
Right.
what makes a better businessman and women. So
Yeah.
I mean, again, we are gonna go. If I have a minivan and I couldn't, and I didn't like my experience, let's evaluate that. And that's something that you got to keep in mind too. How do you engage with money, and how do you engage with the people that can teach about money? So this is
Yeah.
why let's talk about why is this essential for a lot of these people that are trying to learn and trying to go into business and change their relationship with how they think and with money. Why is it important to have a mentor?
Well, because they've already done it. I mean, somebody like me has owned many businesses from health clubs to real estate to record companies to restaurants to IT companies to energy drinks to all these different things. So you need a mentor who's already done the path, right? They've started the journey. They've hopefully continued the journey successfully and then brought, here's the most important part, guys, the results, brought the journey to a successful close, right? A successful exit. Most people know how to start a journey and they don't know how to keep the journey going, or they start it but they break down in the middle of it and they don't complete the journey. So yes, yes,
Yeah. So, and again, one of the things is how do we engage and why we want to do this? I mean, we talk about how to engage with money, how to change the mindset, because at the end of the day, like you said before, a lot of people talk about that money is the root of all evil, which is really nice. Not having money makes you do evil things because sometimes you have to survive. And unfortunately, certain people do not take the high road. So, and what I mean by that is why we want to make sure, because we want to make sure that we enjoy our lives. I mean,
right,
you talk about it. Most of the time, you enjoy the time with your kids. One of your kids lives across the country, the other one lives close by, but you are able to not only spend the time with them, provide them with what they need, and have the life that we all desire. I mean, this is the American dream, right? A lot of people come to the United States, the people that are born here, and people come from other countries to come to the United States because they want to live that life that they picture, the American dream. But in order to
right,
do so, you need to start thinking different. And like we talk about them, it's not nothing is easy in life. You need
no,
to be able to create discipline. You need to be able to develop that mindset on how to specifically discipline yourself investing your money, not using in stupid stuff. Period.
Right. And we all go through that. I mean, when I started making a lot of money,
Yeah.
I I made the mistake when I started making money in sales in the health club business. Mr. Murphy sat me down. He thought I had about 100 grand put away after a year because I did really well in sales. I was number one salesperson in health and fitness.
Yeah.
And he says, "How much money you got put away?" And I says, "He says, just give me some zeros." I go, "Zero." He goes, "Who sold you that plan? Who sold you that plan?" And that plan was told to me, someone I loved, my father. My father, like I said, knew how to accumulate money but not keep it. And a
Got it.
wonderful
Got it.
guy, I love him, but he wasn't a good money manager. So
Yeah.
you either become like your parents or someone you admire, like I do admire him, or you do the opposite. And I did the opposite. I'm the extreme
Right. Yeah.
opposite. So I saved when I started making money. I was single. I saved 50% of my income, you know. And then once you get married, of course, you only do like 10% because you have kids and all that good stuff. But you just the key is understand money, your internal, your external blueprint. Number two, read these books like Richest Man in Babylon or Wealth with Ben Franklin. Um, if you're getting into business, pick up some good business books, things like that. And like even like I know Robert Kiyosaki. I speak at his biannual conferences in Orlando and Vegas, and we have about 2,000 people. But the book Rich Dad Poor Dad, it's got some learning tools in there. So just read the book Rich Dad Poor Dad too, stuff
Now
like
let me
that.
ask you something. I know, and you talk about the zero to wealth, from zero to wealth, in one of your books, and I know you're also friends with T. Harv Eker. He also, if I'm correct, isn't that the richest man in Babylon? He kind of rewrote that and made it into the secrets of the millionaire mind.
I don't know. I haven't seen him in gosh
Yeah.
10 years, but he is a good guy, and he wrote a great book. And I don't know about that transition of the book, but I know that book was a big seller, and he did very well for a long time.
Yeah, and again, a long time ago, actually, I read it, and in there, he also talks about like what you said earlier, tithing. You put money, certain percentage of your money to the side
Right,
and invest, but you have to create discipline. Now, a lot of people say, okay, but I only make enough to survive. What is the advice for someone in that situation to start shifting how they think about whatever they make? Because at the end of the day, I mean, it's just funny enough. Like sometimes we make enough money and we make it last, but if we have an emergency, money comes out of nowhere, and
right.
you are able to cover and still cover everything else during for that month. Now, what do you think the reason for that is? And I have my own, and I know, and I think people make their own obstacles, and then that's just my take, my opinion on this. People make their own obstacles, and sometimes they make they see roadblocks and they can't get out of that box because we've been conditioned by society, we've been conditioned by our cultures, we've been conditioned by our surroundings.
Yeah.
And again, always, I mean, again, you talk about it. You're a little more fluent than me on that one.
Well, let me tell you, I believe that people need to understand that there's a way to manage money. Like for instance, right now we're going into recession. We're in the recession,
Correct. Yeah.
but 2023 is going to be worse, and I think 24 too. I think 23 will be
Yeah.
worse than 24, but it'll still be bad. So what I would recommend anyone is trading time for money, which is what you're talking about.
Yeah.
You have a job, and that job gives you a paycheck, and that paycheck covers your bills, and then you have an emergency fund, but something happened, right? So
Yeah.
here's what you need to do. You got to get a side hustle. You need something that you can do part time that can make you money, and it doesn't affect your uh, day job. Never quit your day job. Not until you can. People say to me, "Oh, I want to quit my job and just go out and do real estate." I go, "Don't do that." I said, "Keep your job, learn the real estate, and when your income matches your job, you have a choice. You can do both, or you can let go of one of them. But don't
Correct.
don't walk away from something until you're making money. So I say to everyone in this time, uh, get a side hustle, do something else, something that will make you money, uh, and help you pay your bills and put money away or be ready for those emergencies. The side hustle is the way to go right now, because if you're working full time, you get a raise, but that's once a year, so that ain't gonna do it. So also the next thing you could do is streamline your uh, what you're doing, like the food you eat, how much you drive. Like I got people right now looking at their drive time. They manage their drive, right? The food
That's
you
true.
eat, the drive, memberships to things. I mean, I have to go online with my kids and say, what is this? What is this? Oh, we don't need that anymore. Well, why didn't you cancel it, right? There's a lot of things that we don't turn off that we're paying and we
Yeah.
don't even know about it, right?
Yeah.
So look at the little things in your life that you could taper in, or you can save a little bit of money, even if you're rich and even if you're making a lot of money. Streamline everything right now for the next 2 years,
Yeah.
and you're better off. And then if you're just making money, trading time for money, then you need to find a side hustle.
That's awesome. You know what? And finding a side hustle, that's very essential. I mean, one of the main things that I know you talk about too is the first investment should be in yourself. You need to learn that skill, and you said skill. Training your time for money, and that's something that's very essential. Something that can withstand a recession.
Right.
And again, you got to do soul searching. If this is you want to do something completely different, and obviously you should start looking for something that can create some passive income going forward. Because, and again, that's another thing that we talk about. The only way that you are going to create wealth is if you develop multiple streams of income that can still give you money while you sleep.
Right. And that's
Because
that's important. And that's where I learned from my mentors that once I could have more than one income or more than one entity, then start putting things away so the money works while you sleep. Or, for instance, you can get into network marketing if you're good, if you want to really do it, but don't do it just
yes, yes,
because network marketing is great if you know and study it and are effective. You can get into real estate, right? Recurring income. Of course, you get on online memberships, create online memberships that can create
yeah.
recurring income. Anything that pays you every month while you sleep is the best way to go.
You know what? One of the not jobs, but side hustles that I would say that everybody should get into. Why? Because not only teaches you about yourself, but again, network marketing, but also affiliate marketing. You could do affiliate marketing. You can actually, you don't have to have any overhead. You don't have to develop any products. You just got to do your own research and figure out where be the bridge between that product and the people that are looking for it.
Yeah,
Times those companies don't know how to market themselves, properly, and you could be that person in between and make a cut out of everything that they sell without any overhead. So that could be another option for you if you are trying to go into business, create a side hustle. And think about a lot of the times that you do certain things when you do sales online, those funnels and those systems are always working behind the closed doors and even while you sleep. So when we talk about creating streams of revenue that give you still passive income even while you sleep, that could be one of those channels.
right.
You
And
know
and
what? Go
that's
ahead.
important. That's important because you got to realize, like, I've got some mentees that they're big on TikTok and YouTube,
Hmm.
and they're kids from 17 to 21, and they have millions of followers, and they do all this stuff, and then all of a sudden they bring out a product, and they say, buy this whatever hoodie or piece of jewelry or whatever, and
Yeah.
people buy it, and then now people even pay them to say that they use their product. All right. So
Gotcha.
there's a lot of ways to make money, guys. You don't have to do the brick and mortar anymore unless you enjoy it. I got a friend of mine that he loves his bar that he owns. He's in Chicago. He loves a bar and he loves it. He's there every day. He enjoys it. He loves the people. I love that. But I wouldn't want to own it because I know people that own restaurants.
Yeah.
You got to have a love for what you do, like bars, restaurants, those kind of things that consume you. Me, I'm not that guy. I
Yeah. Nah.
did that, done that. I just want to like speak, mentor people, write books, do audios, and build companies. That's all I want to do. So
That's awesome. Now that you're saying, and that one last subject over here that we want to talk about, no companies, and this is something that a lot of people are trying to understand. If Because we know that there's a recession and the recession is coming right around the corner. There's a lot of people that are already hurt, especially in the residential market, real estate residential market. A lot of businesses also are going to be on the market very soon for sale. Um, what will you advise someone that is trying to open a new business? Will you advise them to open a new business, start from the bottom up, or go out there and look for a business that's been standing for a while and create an opportunity from buying these businesses?
well, first and foremost, if you're going to do a new business, it better be a business you have been working at. So, for instance, when I opened up the health clubs, I knew the health clubs backwards. I knew I started as an aerobics teacher, then a personal trainer, then a salesperson, then VP of sales, then general manager, but I knew every aspect and I learned every aspect. So, if you're going to start a new business, hopefully you're doing a business that encompasses those things, and now you want to go on your own, number one. If you're not that person, I would recommend that you buy a business and buy a business. And here's really some important advice because I do it all the time. If you
Yeah,
buy a business or when you buy a business, make sure that the person that's running it, that like say it's a doctor, like right now, a lot of doctors, medical doctors, and chiropractors are wanting to stay working at their office. However, they don't want to manage it. So you make sure when you buy them out that they stay with the company at least 1 year so you can do
got
the
it.
transition. It's very important advice.
That's very interesting. You're actually buying it from the old owner, but the person's still in there. But that's good. That's
That's
good.
happening, Carlos. You, if I told you, I've been doing like 4 or 5 of those for people every month.
Wow. Wow, that's amazing.
And the other thing is make sure you have enough credit and
Yes.
money because you know the number one reasons people close down their business, existing or starting, is
Yeah.
money. Of the thousands of businesses that will be open in the first week of January,
Yeah.
December 1st, they say that 95% of those have to close.
Wow.
Yeah.
So,
So
guys,
you got to have funding. Got to have
yeah.
funding. Well, the best way to do that, well, is Carlos,
Yeah.
start with your credit and your corporate credit.
Correct. Yes. I mean, that's essential. So that's nuggets right there. And I know we short of time today, but guys, look, I urge you to actually do a little more homework on what you really want to do. Develop a different relationship with money today. Start shifting your mindset and then start leaving something better in this world. Meaning your family, your kids. Start teaching something completely different. And you know what? It is your responsibility to be that leader. We all leaders. If you're mom and
Right?
dad, you're a leader today, and you got to make sure that you lead your kids to success. And one of those things is making sure that the mindset is completely shifted, making sure that they understand the new world. Obviously, things have changed, but money's money, the relationship with money, and how consistent you are with it is going to dictate if you're going to have any or not in the future.
Right.
But look, as always, if you want to learn more about business, you want to learn more about leadership, you want to learn about self development, you got Mr. Omar Perio. Omar, tell them how they can get in touch with you.
Well, you can go to my website, omarperiu.com. It's omarperiu.com. Or you can email me at info@omarperiu.com. That's info@omarperiu.com. And
All right, guys.
we're there to help, guys. We're there to help.
No, no, awesome, awesome. I appreciate your time, and like always, we are going to put all this information on the bottom of this video, and the description of the video. You're gonna have all that information in order for you to get in touch with Mr. Omar Perio. But I appreciate your time, Omar. Thank you for everything. Like always, man, it is awesome to speak to you. It's also in the way that you actually are open with our audience and with everybody else. The way that you mentor people, it is something that a lot of people do need, and we are thankful for it. Thank you,
Yeah.
man.
Thank you, Carlos. Have a great day, everybody.
All right, man, guys. I appreciate it. Till next week. See you guys. Take care.